The row over the Rwanda Asylum Policy is not over in the United Kingdom after a London court appealed to describe the plan as unlawful. That was the decision. Now, the UK government has insisted that it will fight to overturn this ruling that happened yesterday. Now, after the ruling, the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak quickly announced a plan to appeal at the Supreme Court against this decision. The UK Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has described the ruling as a big disappointment, while adding that she and Sunak will do everything possible to stop the illegal migrants coming into the UK on small boats.
And we mustn't forget how to do... Well, the system is rigged against the British people. It's as simple as that. That's why we're changing the laws through our illegal migration bill. That's why we are rolling out a groundbreaking partnership with Rwanda, which we believe is lawful, with a country that we believe is safe. So we need to change the system. We need to change our laws. That's how we're going to stop the boats.
According to Number 10 sources, the lawyers representing the government are well prepared on the case in the Supreme Court. They're prepared ahead of it. Yesterday, 2 of the 3 judges have ruled that Rwanda is not a safe third world country. The court agreed that the UK government could not guarantee that asylum seekers sent to Rwanda would not be deported to the country from which they were fleeing, adding that sent anywhere to Rwanda would constitute a breach of Article 3 of the European Convention on Human Rights. Well, the ruling comes as a major setback for the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who had made it one of his major priorities. The illegal migration bill is currently passing through the Parliament. The bill states anyone coming to the UK through illegal means could be forcibly removed to Rwanda. UK opposition party Labour claims the Rwanda plan is unworkable, unethical and extortionate. The appeals court also heard from UN Refugee Agency. The UNHCR said Rwanda has a record of human rights abuses towards refugees within its borders, while adding that the UK Home Secretary would not be able to guarantee the safety of asylum seekers in Rwanda. For more details, our London correspondent Alex Isaac is joining us from the capital. Alex, good to see you again. A huge disappointment for the government, but it's not going to stop here, is it? They are determined to get this bill through one way or another.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, they are going to take this appeal to the Supreme Court, as you've mentioned. Now, the interesting part of this is all that it's still coming down to the priorities that Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister, had put in place and said about those 5 priorities, but actually also that the government has already paid over £160 million to Rwanda to set this scheme going. So the taxpayers' money is already into this scheme, and that's one of the reasons behind this is one of the reasons why Rishi Sunak is so forthright in pushing forward, because that is a lot of money that's already been spent on this great plan, and there was already meant to be at least 250 people per month heading over to Rwanda from now up until towards December. And of course, there's been many barriers that have stopped this happening, and this is yet another one. And we have heard this before. There has been a lot of people that have stopped other appeals. There's been the plane that got stopped when that was trying to deport one person back last year. So there is a lot of under work as well to try and make this plan viable going forward, because for the UK public it does feel that this especially the illegal migration, the asylum seekers that are coming through on boats, is a real big issue. So no matter that the opposition is saying that this particularly is untenable, that the Rwanda plan should be disregarded, that immigration bill that Suella Braverman has been talking about, that's still going through the House of Lords and will have to go through the House of Commons, is something that the UK public is looking to figure out and see how it can actually help them. It's one of the major reasons that Brexit as well happened, immigration in general. People here are really keen to have British jobs for British people. That is one of the big pushes that happened during Brexit, and they are looking to see that come to fruition, and it has unfortunately not happened for many. So even though Labour has just said that it's all about this human rights issues, they're not really gathering much support when it comes to immigration on that side. And Rishi Sunak as well trying to suggest that he's going to stop boats coming over. Well, they're still coming, and there doesn't seem to be a reason. We keep giving money. We've given money to Rwanda. We've given money to France. We've given money to the EU. And now we're talking about the human rights and potentially getting rid of some of those European Court of Human Rights rules that are on us, which is sadly going to open up a whole other Pandora's box of problems. Right now, they are very focused on the Rwanda plan because there's so much money that's been put into it. But they do really need to tackle the absolute problems of why people are coming over here illegally. Why are they having their own lives? Is it because they need to come out of their own country and therefore we need to seek some safer routes for them? Or are they coming over for financial gains? Those are the two issues that keep circling around each other, and those answers haven't really been said, or either Labour opposition, other oppositions as well, have given advice about what they would do if they were in the same situation. It does feel right now that we are constantly treading water on this particular point.
Yeah, we really are. And you're right to say as well, we've got to target the problem as well, the gangs where these they're organising these people to come over and paying extortionate amount for these tickets to get on these boats and come over illegally. It's difficult to ascertain how popular this policy is of the Conservatives. I was watching Question Time last night. It's a huge political programme here in the UK, Alex, you know that. And Fiona Bruce, she asked the audience, it was a Conservative, mainly Conservative audience, and she asked them who supported the Rwanda policy, and nobody put up their hand. I don't know if it's because they didn't want to admit that they support the policy or whether they really didn't support it, but I thought that was quite interesting. You picked up on the fact that we don't quite know what Labour would do as well. They've said they don't agree with this policy, but what would they do? There's now less than 2 years that the Conservatives have got before the next election to be able to get this through. Are they going to have time, Alex?
Oh, that's an interesting question. There doesn't seem to be any forward momentum since Rishi Sunak made his promises, and he was meant to suggest that these boats would be coming down by December, and that hasn't stopped either yet. As I mentioned earlier, we've given money out to various countries to help us with this problem, but we haven't seemed to figure out what exactly the problem is. You know, it's really interesting you're saying about with Question Time as well, because it does feel like a lot of the people that are really contesting this plan are a certain age, but when you ask people in the street, you know, they're not the ones going to Question Time, but they are the ones that are frustrated and fed up, but they are also the same ones that, you know, think that we should be sending people away rather than individually looking at why they're coming over. And I think that is really the major issue. It does feel that a lot of people are just seeing negative stories after negative stories, but there are many people that have come and settled in the UK that have been refugees and have sadly come illegally with their own lives on the line, crossing the channel because they really need to, and they couldn't find a safe passage out quicker. So there are two sides of every story, but whether or not we can stop those boats, it does feel like a lot of that is due to these financial issues with gangs making a lot of money, especially from, you know, we're talking about Slavic regions and the Balkan regions, which we keep hearing with regards to. But can this be fixed before the next general election? We don't know. The immigration bill is still going through right now. This was also promised when Priti Patel was Home Secretary. Nothing really happened there. Now we've got Suella Braverman, who is fighting this rhetoric, and not very much seems to be moving forward. But it does seem to be one of those points that both parties will really need to fight for the general election. That will need to be one of their top priorities. Whether it can be done before that, well, wait and see, really.
Yeah, quite right. Such a divisive topic here in the UK. Thank you so very much, Alex Isaac, our London correspondent, for us here.